Morning, everybody. It's sure an interesting one today. As you can see, tail planter, the cover, I had to pull it back over. We're just getting enough of a sprinkling. You can see on my window here, and this was from going the other direction. I can't have that seed getting wet. When it gets wet, it wants to stick together and dam up. There's also a treat on the seed that I don't want to make sure I don't wash off. I didn't know how bad it's going to start raining, so we decided to be safe and cover it up. Better be safe than sorry. Right now it's just sprinkling, but the moisture in the air is causing me a problem with our last year's residue from the straw that was there. Back in those corners I was telling you about that was plugging up down in here and on that side. Right now they're feeding pretty good, but on the last pass I probably plugged up 10 times going from one end to the other, completely smashing out a row. So we might end up having to take those end shanks off, because there's a lead shank in front of the shoe that keeps the rocks, rolls rocks or any debris that's in the field. Also helps keep that shoe at a true depth. But where we're softening in front of us, we might be able to get away without running it. We'll have to see. But right now that shank, as that straw rolls around it, it pushes up against the tire and causes some problems. So we also might have to just stop for a little bit and see if this storm will blow over. It actually looks like it might, but only time will tell. And that right there is the problem. Right there. Woo, up too far. Right there is the problem. That builds up and dams up. That shank, as everything tries to roll around it, just pushes into the tire and then just builds a giant clump and just won't feed through. It totally wipes out a row. So nothing we can do but back up, try to get it to go through. So come on. And it looks like it went through. Well, we made it probably about 100 yards and plugged up again. This humidity in the air and that straw, with the ground being a little bit moist, a little bit wet, just wants to wrap around things, doesn't want to feed through. Needless to say, I'm getting a little frustrated. Well, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and never mind. Well, Idaho decided to surprise me again with another little rainstorm. I had to hurry and jump out and tarp the planter again. Windows are looking real good. Oh, Idaho Springs. Looks like we might have blue skies coming our way, so one can hope. Well, it's really coming down now. I don't know how well you can see, but it's really pouring out there. I'm a little wet. I had to run around and try to get that cover put over the tail planter and get it strapped down with this high winds we have. We gotta make sure that thing doesn't blow away. So I was gonna wait it out and see if we could plant, see if this would pass so that I could get going. But I think I'm gonna have to wait an hour or two before we can go. So, well, we're gonna make a break for the truck and see if we can get back to the shop to help out, because they're trying to transload some seed right now. So let's go. It's not raining too bad out here right now. Still not the best either. Have to close the fertilizer tanks. Oh, we made it. Well, I'm able to get going again. One day, and I'm thankful that it blows like it does here in Idaho. We've had bad windstorm and a little bit of rain. With this wind, it's actually dried it out. The storm's out in front of me, off to the side. We've got nice blue skies right here for me, so. And then behind me, we got another storm. Hopefully everything stays parted just the way it is. Everything's going feeding smooth. Got myself a rider to make sure that everything's looking smooth back there. We have plugged up a few times just because of the straw being a little wet, but so far it's going about how it was. One nice thing about the rain is it did a good job of cleaning my front window and my door window, but it didn't do much for my back window. It's still pretty dirty. This track right here is the one that we just put on. That's the one that originally came up with the tractor. that we took off. We put it back on because the other one, all those lugs were falling off, those alignment lugs. But this is why we took this one off. The cables that are inside are broken. It's poked out the side and it's working its way out, and it keeps working out. We keep cutting it off, and then as we drive it, more keeps coming out. Kind of stuck with what we got. Back when that track originally started doing that, we called our local dealer here and asked them if they'd ever experienced anything like that. And they said they hadn't. They've never seen the cable started coming outside of a track before. And so they actually got on the phone with Cowanplast, which is who makes these tracks, and asked them if they had ever heard of it, and they've never experienced it. The only thing they can figure is at some point those tracks have been driven, I believe. It is. Driven over a rock or something that's broken the cable inside, and now the cables are just winding themselves out. There's cables in there to go the whole length of the track to go around and around just for reinforcement, and apparently it's broken coming out. Didn't want to stay in there. I don't know why. So I noticed that one of the hoppers that feeds seed into the row unit was dumping seed out the back, and as you can see, it's getting too full. And so they're rolling out the back here and onto the ground. So I'm gonna have to take and adjust this sensor down a little bit, just because the seed is so round and smooth, and it's easy for them to roll out. So let's make that adjustment. I'm just gonna take this sensor right here. It's all the way up right now, so that means it keeps it full. So we want to slide it down a little bit. Not quite that much. Let's try it there. See what that does for us. Let's try that out and see if that works. Well, that's another day in the books. Just about to finish up. Got another 50 acres in today, even with all the problems we had and the rain, so not a bad day. One of these days I'll break that 50 mark, but anyways, thanks for joining and support your local farmers. We'll see you later.